Well, it is the appointed hour, so welcome. I'll call to order the February 27th, 2018 meeting of the Oklahoma City Riverfront Redevelopment Authority. First item is items from the chairman. I just have one thing. We did receive a notice from the Community Foundation that Waste Connections, Inc. has contributed $25,000 to our fund at the Oklahoma City Community Fund, and this will be the second time they've done that. And Brian, I think you've had conversation with them.
We've just been able to work with them on different things on the Crystal Lake project and all. And last year when we were trying to finish out the endowment, they said they didn't know if they could do it again. And then I thought that was real nice. I just got a call and they said we're able to give another contribution. So I thought that was nice. Yeah,
it's very much. I think we'll have try to find a time in the next meeting or two when we can get them here and thank them in front of the trust. I think it'd be appropriate. So. Item 3 is meeting minutes. Minutes of the January 30th meeting. Do we have any changes or correct? Move approval.
Second.
Cast your vote, and it passes unanimously. Okay. Item 4 is the consent docket. We have an oil and gas revenue report and the Oklahoma River Corridor events update. Any questions? Cast your vote, and it passes unanimously. Item 5 is the primary agenda items. The first one is to receive the Oklahoma River Maintenance Project update. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, trustees. My name is Sam Slayton. I'm the Oklahoma River Projects Manager, representing Department of Public Works. We have 5 items on this month's update. First is Project MC0532. That's our Oklahoma River Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition System. The contractor Level Ops Energy has replaced the aging microwave radios at both the Eastern and Paul Brum dams. These radios were the first in a series of radios to be installed, and they've been running at a degraded state for quite some time. The new equipment connection rate is now 16 times that of what they were operating at. Our second item is Project MC0608, Phase 1. That's the structural repairs to the May Avenue Dam. The consultant, White Engineering and Associates, have submitted their preliminary proposal, and negotiations are underway to finalize the fee for their services as well as to finalize the scope of the project. The project is expected to bid this summer of 2018, with construction begin this coming fall. Third item is Project MC0608 Phase 2. That is the painting of the May Avenue Dam. Intercon Services has been selected as the design consultant, and they are the ones that are going to develop the plan specifications as well as the environmental criteria for the work being done along the river there. The consultant has submitted their initial proposal, and we are also negotiating with them to finalize their fee schedule and the project scope. The project is expected to bid the summer of 2018 and construction to begin in the fall. We hope that Phase 1 and Phase 2 can be done at the same time. The fourth item is Project MC0609. This is the proposed sediment basin maintenance agreement. The scope of the project, bid documents, and contract documents are currently being developed by city staff, and we're estimating to bid it this summer and contract to be awarded in the early fall of this year. The final item is street traffic drainage maintenance activities. Between January the 12th, 2018 and February the 11th, the river maintenance crews removed approximately 13 tons of floating debris, primarily in the eastern basin. And that's all I have. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Items 2 and 3 are the result of separating what we were bidding out together. Is that correct? And there was some discussion that there wasn't very many companies that could do both of them.
Correct.
Okay. So we have
sorry.
some expectation that separating them will get two fairly good bids, I guess.
We're hoping. Hopefully we'll get it, like I said, we've got the Intercon developing the environmental criteria, and the structural repairs primarily is concrete repair and fixing the spalling and things of that nature on the exposed structure. So hopefully we'll be able to get us a local contractor, give us a good price.
And it says that these will be done basically at the same time. Is the concrete not in the same area that the painting's going to go on? The firms won't be concerned about working beside each other?
We don't believe that they will, because the concrete's not getting painted, it's just the metal surfaces, and that way they ought to be able to operate at the same time, and we will only have to drain the river once to make this happen.
Any other questions?
Chairman, I was just going to ask on item number 4, the sedimentation basin maintenance. This is an ongoing issue, isn't it? Is this a renewal of a contract, or?
It is. We've typically had a contract for this in the past, and we've had some the financial restrictions that we had to let this contract cancel out, and we had intended to get it rebid. The other contract had run its entirety, and we'll get this back up and running here.
Okay, because they take a lot of sediment out of there.
That they do. That they do. It's about 50,000 cubic yards a year.
Any other questions? Motion to receive?
Second.
Cast your vote. It passes unanimously.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks. Item B is a resolution accepting the annual inventory of the Oklahoma River Rowing and Canoe Kayak Race Course, including the property that we obtained from the foundation recently through the Tobacco Trust. There was an item in January where we agreed to accept all of those as city properties so that they could clear that off, so to speak. So, any questions on the resolution?
Move to accept the resolution.
Cast your vote. It passes unanimously. Item C is a second renewal of lease agreement between the city and the Riverfront Redevelopment Authority and Samuel Owens for cattle grazing on the north side of the river, just east of the Police Equine Center. Again, this is a renewal of a lease that's been ongoing. Any questions? Cast your vote. Passes unanimously. Item D is a first renewal of lease agreement with Mr. Steve Allen for an agricultural lease on property near Sooner Road and Northeast 23rd and Northeast 36th Street. Any questions? Cast your vote. It passes unanimously. Item E is a memorandum of understanding amongst the city, the Riverfront Redevelopment Authority, the city, and DG Productions for presenting established and new running events on the Oklahoma River Trails and the Burt Cooper Trails around Lake Hefner. Do you have any questions on this? Cast your vote. It passes unanimously. Item F is a memorandum of understanding between the River Redevelopment Authority, the city, and the Oklahoma City Community Foundation for landscape and hardscape improvements along the north side of the Oklahoma River between Portland and Harvey. This is an item that Doug and I met with the foundation, and Brian has championed this for us. And Brian, you want to explain a little bit what it is? It has to do with an anniversary of the foundation itself. And
Right. They've been looking for different opportunities where we can do some significant projects around the city, and for a period of time they've talked about doing some other tree planting projects. The trustees had identified the north side of the river, and as you remember, when the river was put in, I-40 wasn't relocated at that time, and also if you go, I walked the 3.4 miles, it is really nice, but it's fairly barren. There are some trees, so it is, we're working, we've met with Doug and we've met with Doug's staff. We're working to come up with a plan, basically holding a lot of the original plan and then seeing where it will go. It is nice that now at Mays, where the Will Rogers Trail intersects the river, and then it will go over to where the new lower park intersects the river. So it's that basically 3.4 miles that we'll be looking at doing some significant improvements.
Planting approximately how many trees, we think?
Yeah, I think it's still to be determined.
Many.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a great opportunity for us, and we appreciate the Community Foundation for thinking about that. So,
Move approval.
any questions? Cast your vote. It passes unanimously. Item G is an MOU between the Riverfront Redevelopment Authority, the city, and the USS Oklahoma City Park Association for the construction of the submarine park. This was deferred from last month to provide some further information to the Boathouse Foundation and so forth. So,
And Mr. Chairman, you remember we did defer this item until today at the last meeting, and I just wanted to report that I've had some really great conversations with folks, so excited about this, but wanting to continue a conversation about potentially the best location. I think there's a lot of excitement about this, but the site that we've talked about here at the Boathouse is a little small. It's kind of constrained. It's a little hard to get to. It's the last piece, sort of to the west of the Chesapeake Boathouse, and I think there's some really good ideas out there that are percolating, and if we might defer for another 30 days, I think there could be some things to bring forward that would be really beneficial to the whole process.
defer till the March meeting.
Defer to the March meeting, March 28th. And I apologize, I've been gone for 2 weeks, or I would have been a little bit better organized, I think, but
Okay.
if the committee be willing, I would certainly appreciate it.
Have a second for that?
No,
Second.
Did we get a second? Okay. Any other questions? Did you vote? Or do we need to vote on that? Okay. It passes unanimously. Anyway. Item H is a revocable permit with Eastern Technical Associates for visible emissions and certification training in March and in September. This will go on at Wiley Post Park, I believe. Any questions on it? Other than what is it?
That's my question. What exactly is the...
You have an idea, or does Doug have an idea?
I'm going to let our Parks Director answer that.
It has to do with creating smoke, I believe.
Well, it's actually a training exercise. They do set up a smoke room, basically, to teach newbies how to detect emissions so that they can be certified to do the static emissions, basically. So this isn't the first time, but it's been a while since they've been in Wiley Post. And we think it's a good opportunity to train some citizens. Could be a quality job opportunity and things along those lines as well. So we're supportive of it. We hope you will be too.
Any other questions? Move the item. Second. Cast your vote. It passes unanimously. I don't believe we have any claims. Okay. Any comments from staff? Doug's report is in the packet. Doug, you have anything you want to add to it?
It's apropos that you mentioned that we would want to try to get City Care here to, and of course the benefactors that have donated to them, the Waste Connections and what have you. But we're hoping to get City Care in here to talk about this year's activities. We missed them last year. We think they're a great partner, and we want to be supportive of them doing that, so we've reached out to them. We will be bringing to Ms. Williams' committee, probably here in the very near future, of course with her approval, we'll have a committee meeting to talk about a possibility of a 150-foot cell tower on River Trust property. We'll see what the proposals are. They've submitted a site plan to David that have 3 locations around Jim and Sam's maintenance facility, as well as where the river cruisers house their boats. So we'll probably be bringing that probably before the March meeting. We'll get with Ms. Williams about setting up a committee meeting. I think those are the 2 big things. And of course, Shine is always, well, they shine. They've helped us clean up a lot of illegal dumping throughout the river system, and we'd be desperate if we weren't getting that kind of help from the county. So be happy to answer any other questions. Otherwise, I'd like you to accept the report as written.
Any other questions? Cast your vote. It passes unanimously.
Mr. Chairman, let me make one comment. Trustee Doherty brought up the I-44 Will Rogers Trail in his remarks. I just want to let you all know that trail is complete, and there's a ribbon cutting this Friday afternoon at 2 o'clock at Southwest 5th and May, if you're interested. But it does, the trail, if you're not familiar with it, it connects Lake Hefner with the river.
Okay. Any comments from trustees? Any citizens wishing to be heard? We are adjourned.